As hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of the WMMA 5 series here, as we are about to start the opening round of the Grand Prix 2000 tournament, as a little bit of changes, though, to it, as we are going to look at, obviously, the opening round here. God damn it, fucking thing too many times. Alright, so, as far as new people actually in the tournament, we had to kind of rework the tournament. As obviously, as you can see, probably the biggest one right off the rip is Mark Kirk and Shamrock at heavyweight. It's going to be a heavyweight fight, as that is because Mark Kirk wanted some better competition than Ensign and Noe, so we gave him Ken Shamrock, and that's going to be a hell of a fight. Some of these, if you can see, some of them are open weight. There's 3 that are heavyweight fights, the Mark Kirk and Shamrock. The other one, Mark Coleman and Tom Erikson, obviously that was going to be Masaki Satake, who didn't want to have the fight because it's too much of a step up in competition. So, we gave him Tom Erikson, Mark Coleman, Tom Erikson. Another good, very good fight. As then, I believe that's the only changes, but then as far as the third heavyweight fight, as Hans and Kazuki Fujita, as that's going to be the 3 heavyweight fights. As obviously the prelims, which is just going to be Wanderlei Silva, and then Incidentally gets to be on the card. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's a light heavyweight fight as well. And so before we get into the actual card and the actual the show and whatnot, well, I guess not really the show, the fights, as we do have some new signees, as and also some people that have left. We'll start out with the signees as Heath Herring, Quentin Rampage Jackson, Rich Franklin, and Don Fry all going to sign to Pride. So that's awesome. Obviously, 3 heavyweights, as Heath Herring, Don Fry. I believe Don Fry is going to be heavyweight. Yeah, just want to double check that. And Quentin Rampage Jackson are all going to be, actually, I think, well, no, Rampage is, alright, so it's 2 and 2. So we got Heath Herring and Don Fry as heavyweights, and Quentin Rampage Jackson and Rich Franklin at light heavyweight, which obviously Rich Franklin more of a middleweight, bumping up to light heavyweight. So that's fun. Really, as far as like what UFC's doing right now, UFC's actually put on some pretty crazy cards. They have signed a lot of big names. That was was gonna wait to sign like Rampage Jackson and like all these guys, but like UFC wanted to sign Quentin Rampage Jackson. I think Don Fry just wanted to sign Don Fry. But I know that was the thing with Rampage Jackson. I think the same thing could be said for Heath Herring. I'm not really sure. Actually, no, it's just a standard contract. Yeah, he's just signed with Pancrase and Staring. So it wasn't, was it Rich Franklin? It might have been Rich Franklin. Is the other one. Because Rich Franklin wasn't going to be a guy. I love Rich Franklin, obviously, out of, Cincinnati, Ohio. As, kickboxing kind of more or less, obviously came into really fame and prominence at the same time as Anderson Silva dominating the middleweight division. So it's kind of tough to, like, showcase what he could do as far as, like, being, top level guy, especially here in Pride, have to bump up in the weight, too. It's going to be tough for him. But as far as, Vernon White and Daijiro Matsui, they both left the rings, which is, okay, no big deal. Rings, obviously, this is really the big thing right now as far as in this mod, and going right now in the mixed martial arts world in 2000 here. Rings, Pancrase, and even fucking, just, and obviously Pride. So really those 3 have just been really signing a lot of guys to written deals. So it's really just a fight between the 3 of us as far as signing people goes. So you can see a lot of guys kind of being picked up by Rings and whatnot. Let's see if there's anybody of fame that was really signed. Frank Shamrock did. Frank Shamrock, which, was going to be a guy I was thinking about bringing in. And Evan Tanner, too. Evan Tanner. He's more of, a smaller size, though. Evan Tanner, obviously, fighting another middleweight guy, would fight at light heavyweight for us. But, those kind of 2 guys, as far as, like, on the radar, that was going to get signed. We wanted to sign, but they signed with Rings. I guess we could look at Pride, too, and kind of see. Look at this Pride 25 card. Dean Thomas and Sean Shirk as, the Muscle Shark. As and Frank Trigg. I'm trying to think who else. Obviously Kevin Randall. We're gonna sign once his contract runs up, or at least try to at least. Right now, the UFC heavyweight champion against Pedro Izzo. That should be a pretty solid fucking fight. And then they also have the UFC 24 card as Juan Waterman. That was another guy. Obviously H2O. One Waterman, fucking OVW, Graduate, Jens Pulver. Trying to think anybody else. We can just look at, I guess, UFC as a whole before we get into the show. As I hit the wrong. There we go. UFC. Take a look at news. A lot of signees. Anderson Silva, Nate Marquette. Trying to think who else we wanted. Yves Edwards, Travis Lutter, Takanori Gomi. I completely forgot. Obviously, he's main eventing. UFC 24. That's huge. Royler Gracie. Think that might be it. Oh, Dean Thomas. Yeah, we talked about that. They appointed a new CEO, too. That's kind of weird. Sean Shitterby. Alright. This new CEO. Oh, Tank Abbott. Tank Abbott signed. Which I hope... I don't think I was ever going to bring him into Pride, but that's fucking awesome that they signed him. You know, Frank Trigg, we talked about. Matt Serra. A lot of signees. A lot of signees. Yeah. Some we didn't really, probably were never going to sign, but a lot of people, obviously Anderson Silva, that's tough. Because obviously Anderson Silva at this time, 2-0, same thing. And he's actually a Pride alumni, so that'd been nice to sign him. But it just, once his contract runs up, though, because it's, see if it tells us. Nope, it's not. But once that comes up, which I think it was like maybe a five fight contract. Once that comes up, we'll probably sign him. Let's see if he's in middleweight. Oh no, that we picked lightweight. I was like, oh, he's not there. Yeah, as far as who we could probably fight. Even Matt Hughes, that'd be a big fight. Nate Marquette, be a big fight. Travis Lutter, that'd be a big fight. A lot of stuff. Alright, so, that's just kind of what's going on in the world before we get into the fight. Let's get it. Alright, yes, we would like to. We're going to watch them all. We got, I'm really in no big hurry, so we'll watch it all. We'll kind of see what happens. Obviously, here's the kind of, the breakdown as the pre-show analysts for PRIDE FC's Grand Prix 2000 opening round, as obviously being held in Kanto, as the big headline fight, Royce Gracie, Nobuki Takada, as, you're seeing just kind of elsewhere, as, Sakuraba, Guy Metzger, Mark Kirk, and Shamrock. As far as, actual, the card itself, it's actually going to be a really good card as far as how it does as far as fan perspective and as far as, media outlets and whatnot, because I think both the main, the co-main, and even I think this Mark Kirk and Shamrock fight did very well as far as, numbers for us. It's kind of like strong main events as far as, what it could be for these two fights, and, decent for the Mark Kirk and Shamrock fight. As, then, let's see, talking about Instant and No Way fight. He's fighting for the first time since Pride 5. Mark Coleman. What else we got? Oh, so yeah, this is obviously one of the, obviously every fight on the main card is going to be one of the tournament fights. We had because in the game, because we had to do another tournament, obviously we can't call it the same name, so I had to add an extra space. So don't mind this extra space there. Takada has made everything a Pride show for the 6th time. Gracie submitted 3 of his last 5 opponents. Obviously, Gracie trains at the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Academy. Takada has a overall record of 0-2 against the other current members of the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Academy. So that's pretty much all Gracie Jiu-Jitsu people. Obviously, Gracie, a huge favorite from the Blurcat staff, 7-0. Nobody thinks the guy's got a chance of advancing in the second round. Alright. And then they have Gracie Honor. Obviously, not the Gracie Honor yet, but you had to throw a nickname in there, so they just were like, let's just call him the Gracie Honor. Against Guy Metzger, Sakuraba submitted 3 of his last 5 opponents. Both guys are in the top 10 as far as light heavyweights in the world. Sakuraba 2nd, Metzger 10th. Metzger, Lions Den guy. Sakuraba's 1-0 against Lions Den people. As the betting odds, I have Sakuraba as a huge favorite. I forget off the top of my head the betting lines. Obviously, we'll see it once the fight happens. But, yeah, again, Sakuraba, huge favorite over Metzger. So hopefully we get the Sakuraba-Royce Gracie match. As again, Mark Kerr, the Smashing Machine, and the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock. Both guys have won 3 of their last 5 matches, as Shamrock submitted 3 of his last 5, and Kerr has finished 3 of his last 5. Both guys are, Lions Den trainees, so you wouldn't really necessarily see this. I'm surprised they actually let this happen. Kerr's going to have a significant weight advantage in this heavyweight fight. Mark Kerr 7-zip again. Hopefully we get some. It was like 350. As far as in Kerr's favorites and the betting odds, I think it's gonna go. Better than what people think. As Igor and Alexander Atsuka. Igor, obviously 3 of his last 5 opponents have been by knockout. Don't think Igor's gonna lose there. He's I forget again. The betting odds huge in Igor's favor in this one. That should be pretty one-sided. Gary Goodridge and Trey Tellingman, as Tellingman's finished 3 of his last 5 opponents. Tellingman, the Lions Den guy, which Gary Goodridge has done very well against Lions Den guys, being 2-0. As the first time they fought against each other. Goodridge, the 6-inch reach advantage, and this is the Pride debut for Tellingman. Betting odds again if Gary Goodridge is a large favorite. I don't remember it being that huge, but maybe I've been misspoken, misread. But Gary Goodridge again, another 7-0 fucking, everyone's just like, listen, guy on the left's gonna win. That just seems to be what everyone's going with. But Mark Coleman and Tom Erikson, I think this is gonna be a lot closer than even what these people think. Tom Erikson could upset the man here. Even though Mark Coleman is Mark the Hammer Coleman ends up winning this whole thing in real life. Him against Tom Erikson, I think that's a tough matchup for him, even though he's 2-0. Tom Erikson 2-0 against Hammer House people. As Erikson's going to have a significant weight advantage. We shall see. And Erikson's finished 4 of his last 5 opponents. He's coming in very good. He loves the big cat, Tom Erikson. As, again, Akira Shoji and Ebenezer Fontes Baraga. As Budokan Luta Livre. Akira Shoji is 1-0 against those guys, and betting odds again, Baraga, huge favorite. As another 7-0, as everybody is just a large margin of winning here, but Fujita's making his big debut, his MMA debut here at the Grand Prix 2000 open weight tournament, as the first time they ever fought, of course, and this is both the debut for Hans. And this is the pro debut for Fujita. So 2 debuts in 2 different type of categories, but we shall see. And then the prelim fight, another 7-0 nod, as this time Wanderlei Silva getting the nod over Enson Inoue, which that's a big time win if Wanderlei Silva, the axe murderer, gets the win. 4 of his last 5 opponents have been submitted. Enson Inoue, and then Silva's finished 3 of his last 5 opponents. First time they fought, Silva having a significant weight advantage and big favorite. Betting odds there. Alright. So, obviously, the first fight, the Axe Murderer, Wanderlei Silva, and Enson Inoue. We shall see how it goes. As I will just start the timer. Obviously, 10-minute rounds. 2 10-minute rounds. And so, let's go. Obviously, Hideki Nagao, the referee there. Both fighters 205. Man, this is going very fast. Maybe we're not going to do the timer. Hold on. We're just going to go. That was going really fast. Not for the tough touch gloves is completely ignored by Wanderlei Silva. Just fuck that shit. A takedown attempt from Enson. As that was successful too. So it was a clean takedown. 10 seconds into the round. As we're gonna see Silva's gonna try to pull guard. As they're just gonna throw some body punches on top. As Enson and unload some right hands. As Silva just kind of eats them. Looks at the pass to the guard. Manages to pass while in the half guard, and Enson begins to trying to get his leg free of the half guard. Silva fighting the temp off, and then wind up scrambling for position. Enson ends up holding a waist lock behind, and Silva, who's kind of behind, in front of him, as fires away with some punches, and Silva, stung by several big shots, is now looking good for Wanderlei Silva. As pounds away with his rights, but fails to land any significant blows, just kind of tapping him with them. Silva gets quickly back to his feet, although Enson does get back control. Holding his back, and it looks to try to take him down again. As Silva shows stubborn resistance, and Enson can't complete the takedowns. So he's trying to keep him up, but that's just some good strategy from Enson Inoue, though, so far. Keep him on the ground. As, again, he's trying to do another takedown. He gets the takedown, just like that. As he's 2 for 3 on takedowns. This is looking very, very good for Enson Inoue. He can't stop him. Again, you can't stop him here as Enson getting side control of the takedown. As he's trying to attempt a Kimura. This is not looking good, but he defends himself. Does Wanderlei Silva. It's no danger. Enson fires off a few punches, but aren't throwing with any great force. Again, just trying to tap him. Just trying to win the round, it looks like, so far. 5 minutes in, and it looks like Enson is in complete control of this fight. Throws a few right hands, but it's mainly trying to just catch his breath. See here. And he throws a few right hands. He takes a moment to plan ahead. Side control. Throws a couple of punches, deciding to keep Silva guessing on where he's going to punch. Tries to pound on Silva, but all the blows are comfortably dealt with. So Silva again just, eating the punches. And the referee's just like, let's just stand it up. We're not doing shit. Enson's just kind of laying on top of him. Which that's what a wrestler does, so you can't really knock it. But Enson, he's trying to shoot but Silva aggressively took the initiative. Let's see if he's trying to... A jab is wide for Silva, but then he catches Enson with a crunching right hook. As Silva moves in on Enson, preparing to throw him. Enson lands a weak, tentative jab. Silva can't set up the left jab and then scores the right cross that landed hard. Enson shoots in for a takedown. He knows he's in trouble. He can't stand with Erikson Silva. Wanderlei Silva. This is not good. As he gets a hold of the leg, but Silva remains standing, hopping on the other foot. Enson drives Silva up against the ropes. Enson traps Silva up against the ropes using double underhooks for control. Just got him up against the ropes there, just in a clinch. Nothing really crazy. Maybe looking for a takedown. Spend the next minute and half a minute in that position, hitting each other with short punches to the body and the side of the head. Looking for a takedown by grabbing both his opponent's legs and trying to chip him to the mat. As Silva again blocks the takedown attempt, turns Enson around so he has his back to the ropes. Silva is aiming to get Enson into the Muay Thai clinch, but that is going to be bad news. Let's see if he can survive this minute in the Muay Thai clinch. And he can't fight it off and ends up getting caught. This is bad news. Keeps control of the clinch despite missing a knee strike. As from the clinch, Enson gets hit with a knee to the side of the face. That's a big-time shot. And Mirza suffered a gash underneath his eye. That is not good. Might have to have the referee take a look at that. But Silva keeps control of the strike, and he misses another knee strike. And that's the end of the round there. Let's take a look at the fight metrics just to see what's going on. So 2 out of 5 for takedowns. Really, just some ground jabs and some passes. Missed on that submission attempt. But really, as far as power goes, Wanderlei Silva's done a lot of power, done a lot of damage. He's got that gash underneath Enson Inoue's eye from the Muay Thai clinch. So, landed some power shots from punches and knees, obviously, which started the gash. I give that to Wanderlei. Even though it seemed like Enson Inoue for the first 5 minutes, the fight out of control. Last 5 minutes, though, I have to give that to Wanderlei Silva. He did some damage, and he was going to be in trouble. Enson Inoue's in a lot of trouble for sure. We shall see what everybody else sees as the fight. Yep, he's attended by the cut man between the round here. As here we go, one last round. As Enson shoots in for a takedown. Silva gets taken down by a single leg, has to pull guard. As Enson fires with a punch, but Silva doesn't take any undue damage. As in guard, Enson begins to working to pass to side control. He does pass, but only to half guard. As he's trying to pass half guard as he gets side control, but doesn't have time to secure a position before Silva starts scrambling away. Scramble ends with Enson grabbing Silva and shoving him up against the ropes. As Enson ducks and grabs a leg, Silva remains standing under the ropes for support, but is under the threat of a takedown again. As Silva keeps calm, manages to pull Enson back in the clinch, preventing the takedown. As another takedown attempt. Can't get it, as Silva just wrestling his way into a dominant position. Trying to lock in another Muay Thai clincher. That's going to be bad news. And he's got it hooked in. This is not good. And delivers a knee right into the face of Enson. is using the clinch. Silva blasts with a sternum-crunching knee to the chest. These knees are in bad news. He misses that knee, though, that time, as there's a minute left in the round. Using the clinch, Silva with a vicious knee again to Enson Inoue. No, Enson breaks the clinch. So that's, he's gonna survive the round. It looks like, as Silva just slowing just a little as he starts to get, it's obviously getting tired out. But it's 30 seconds left in the fight. But you never know, could catch him with something. As again, both guys are a little fatigued going into this. Though I mean, there are 15 minutes into the fight. It's a long time. As setting up to a shoot takedown. But Silva aggressively took the initiative. Can't connect with a jab, does Silva, but then catches Enson with a crunching right hook. As no! As Enson immediately covers up and tries to retreat, only up against the ropes. He's looking dazed. This is not looking good. Can he survive just 15 seconds? As he's looking to get him in the clinch. As he's got it hooked in, and he's too dazed to muster any sort of serious defense action there. Another vicious knee to the ribs. And that's it. We reached the time limit. The fight is over. My God, Enson Inoue survived that fight. It's got to be Wanderlei Silva with the decision win. Yeah, all three judges give it to Wanderlei Silva. The Axe Murderer, 11-2. Enson Inoue, 10-4. As a unanimous decision. The Axe Murderer, Wanderlei Silva. Great fight, though. Yeah, that was a great fight. I enjoyed it from the text speech bubble. It was, the strategy from Enson Inoue seemed to work for a little bit. He didn't get finished off. He survived. That's all you can ask for at that point. And all right, on to the main fight. And gives thanks, does Wanderlei Silva, and he calls out fucking Sakuraba. Jesus Christ. Okay. Wanderlei Silva wants Kazushi Sakuraba. That would be a hell of a fight, that is for sure. But the first tournament fight of the Openweight Grand Prix of 2000, Hans and Fujita. We shall see how it goes. As the first main fight, first tournament fight of the opening round, we shall see what happens there. Look at that, minus 690 Fujita. That is crazy. That is crazy. As all right, the quarterfinal spot is underway. Judges, a referee, fight in front of a home crowd. Fujita gets a loud ovation from the crowd during his entrance. As the fight begins, they touch gloves. Fujita shoots him, looking for a takedown early on. He gets the takedown as it's a single leg. As Hans pulls guard. Fujita begins trying to pass guard. He gets into a better position. He can't get free of the guard, however, throws some punches, does Hans, but Fujita leans back to avoid them. As the clock runs down, as Niman is being smothered in the ground by Fujita, just laying on top of him, using that wrestling background to keep him down. Fujita trying to pass his guard to get into better position, passes the guard, but Hans was ready and begins to scramble out of position, as Hans ends up in the guard. In guard, Hans begins working to pass into side control. Fujita tries to counter the pass attempt, and then they find themselves scrambling for position. Scramble leaves Fujita on his back, pulling guard, not giving his opponent any room to work, as Hans keeps close, body-to-body contact while throwing short strikes to the head and the body. So at least he's landing some strikes. He's, creating something out of nothing here, as Fujita pulls Hans closer, scores with a couple of short punches to the side of the head. That's not good. As in guard, Hans throws a couple of punches designed to keep Fujita guessing. Fujita tries to sweep Hans, but doesn't get anywhere. Hans attempts to pass guard and gain a better position. Fujita can't fend off the effort, and can only stop Hans into half guard. And half guard, Hans begins working to get side control, passes half guard, but he can't secure side control. So both guys just can't get into side control. Seems to be the 5 minutes into this fight. Both men are just trying to keep it on the ground and just try to get into side control and do some damage. But it seems that nothing can. They're on an even playing field so far. As the scramble somewhat results in Hans underneath Fujita north-south position. As we now past the halfway point in the round. There's Hans with a few elbows to the midsection, but there's not much behind him. Just kind of throwing him in there just to lay him in. Moving sharply to the side, Hans takes the opportunity to try to scramble. Fujita ends up having to pull guard, losing out in the scramble as Hans trying to pass the guard. Fujita finds his opponent too skilled, and Hans passes guard into side control very easily, so he's in side control. And now he's unloading some right hands. But Fujita's, he's dealing with it right now. It's just kind of eating him. Fujita brings his leg into the trap. Had tried to trap Hans in half guard as pounds away at Fujita, but a few of the shots land clean. As again, Fujita struggles and manages to go from half guard to full guard, as Hans doesn't posture up, perhaps worry of the submission, instead using small strikes while keeping his head on his opponent's chest. So not really trying to posture up, just trying to keep close to the body. So, again, looking at you, surprised. I don't think really Fujita could do anything on his back, but we shall see. Fujita tries to sweep Hans, but doesn't get anywhere with it. Hans attempting to pass guard and to gain a better position. Does pass the side control, but doesn't have any time to secure a position before Fujita scrambles away, as now he's underneath in the north-south control of Hans. Fujita takes a short, neat strike to the side of the head. That's not good. He's able to break free from the north-south position and scramble for a position. Somehow, again, on top of this time of Fujita from the north-south position, as again, taking a short knee strike to the head, as Hans blocks an attempt to escape out of the north-south position. Hans pounds away with elbows to the stomach. Can't get any power behind him. Really, again, doesn't have any power on top here on the guard. Just kind of dealing with some shit. But Fujita tries to scramble only from underneath. But Hans, again, holding firmly to try to end the round on top, in top position. As he takes a knee to the side of the head, it does Fujita again. As Fujita tries to scramble out from underneath, as Hans held firmly in place, and that's the end of the round, the first round there. So here we have the takedowns and the fight metrics here. So Fujita 1 for 1 on takedowns. But really, as far as on the ground, Hans has been in great control. He's done some power strikes. He's landed a lot of jabs. He's passed a lot of grounds as far as guards and side control and north to south. I think he's won the first round. I think I would give him the first round just from what I've seen so far. We shall see. Fujita's in a lot of trouble. He might lose in his debut fight right here. This is bad news. Let's see if he can finish this final round and maybe even get a draw. We shall see. As Hans hits a left jab and then catches Fujita with a right hook. Fujita wants to grapple and appears to be willingly be aggressive. Comes in to do so even if it means risking some strikes. So Fujita knows at this point, hey, I got to do something to win this fucking fight. Even win the round, something. He's got to do something. As Hans hits a left hand, but his big right hand, hits a... that's kind of weird. He misses. That's just the way that was worded. I was like, what the fuck? He hits the left hand, but he misses the big right hand. Fujita gets hold of Hans without taking too much damage. As with control of the clinch, he tries to complete the takedown, and it's completed. So there's 2 for 2 for Fujita on the takedowns. 1 in the first round and 1 in the second round here. So Hans giving up his back. Fujita fires away with some punches, and Hans is stung by several big shots. This is not good, as unloading with a big right hand, as several times that clearly hurt Hans, as he tries to get a rear naked choke, and he does. He gets the rear naked choke, and he taps out. What a fucking round from Fujita. Thought he lost the first round, comes in the second round, very aggressive, gets in the clinch, fucking takes him down, gets this back, gets the rear naked choke, and wins by tap out. Way to go, by submission, Kazuki Fujita, 1-0, as Hans 9-4, not good, but he came in, 550, that's big underdog. Not a huge underdog, but a big underdog. So we get our first guy in the quarterfinal spot is Fujita. As it was an excellent fight. Yeah, it was a pretty fun fight. So that's an excellent fight. Good to see that starting off hot on this opening round. As Fujita thanks all of his sponsors for backing him, and also thanks his family, friends, and supporters. He celebrates his pro debut victory and says that he's looking forward to getting another fight soon. Yes, you will be. Probably in March or April, whenever we set up the actual shit. But Akira Shoji, Ebenezer Fontes Baraga. The next fight is, alright. So again, I mean, that's a huge betting line. That 1,000 on Ebenezer. This is not getting out of the first round. Don't think so, though, at all. As a luta livre, Muay Thai, a catch wrestler, that's going to be dangerous. Ebenezer's going to be dangerous standing up. This is going to be bad. Akira Shoji is going to be in a tough spot. As John McCarthy, big John McCarthy, a referee for this. That's awesome. As judges there, as both fighters weighing in at 195. Yesterday, but it seems like Baraga's he's probably up to 200, it's probably up to 200, 205 even, as he's the much bigger fighter here. As again, Shoji, loud ovation for his home crowd here in Tokyo. Here we go, as Baraga coolly stalks Shoji so that he's trapped in the corner. Shoji fires off a counter jab that doesn't connect, though, as Baraga lands a jab, then lands a big right hand, as again, stalking him into the corner so that Shoji's trapped in the corner. And again, trying to fight off a counter jab, it doesn't connect it. Baraga can't hit a setup left jab, but then hits a fantastic right cross. Already, 30 seconds into the fight. It's not looking good, as he's down. Shoji falls to the floor with a knockdown, as Baraga knows that he's in gold opportunity, quickly pounces on Shoji, looking to finish him off, raining down some punches. And a big strike here, pounds away on Shoji. Several great shots that rock him. And Big John McCarthy fucking steps in and stops the fight. Ebenezer Fontes Baraga gets the win by TKO in a minute. There you go, Ebenezer. Taking quarterfinal spot. Ebenezer Fontes Baraga. Obviously, plus 800 in a betting line. You knew Akira Shoji was going to have a tough time out there. He sure did, as we're going to see. As thanks God first, then gives a shout out to his family, friends, and his team at Budokan Luta Livre. Awesome. So now we got Mark Coleman and Tom Erikson. Obviously, this is going to be pretty much the exact opposite of what we just saw. I want to say, this is minus 300, plus 230. I seem like this is a pretty well-even fight. Both fighters, 35. Tom Erikson with the weight advantage. We shall see how that's going to go for him. 265 in a 15-minute fight. If it goes the distance, that's going to be tough on him. But Mark the Hammer Coleman, Tom the Big Cat Erikson. We shall see who takes a quarterfinal spot in the 2000 Grand Prix. It's alright, there's the opening bell. Coleman delivered. He doesn't touch gloves. Oh my God! Why are you being an asshole, fucking Mark Coleman? Come on, touch gloves with him. Obviously, they're going to start wrestling. Tom Erikson is the aggressor in the clinch, trying to muscle Coleman up against the ropes. Manages it, and he controls Coleman up against the ropes. It isn't pretty, but Erikson has Coleman stuck up against the ropes. They spend the next minute in this position, hitting each other with short punches to the body and the side of the head. Erikson is just trying to smother Coleman against the ropes with wrestling, but he reverses it and punches Erikson against the ropes instead. So that's, good job by Mark Coleman to get out of that predicament. Obviously, Tom Erikson trying to use his size to just smother him. As Coleman traps Erikson up against the ropes, using a double underhook for control. Next 30 seconds become a stalemate as neither fighter risks leaving a crucial opening that the other can exploit. As the referee thinks there's been too little progress, and then brings the two fighters back to the center. Two fighters come together and clinch and start wrestling. Erikson again seems to get the advantage of the wrestling as he looks to scoop his opponent up for a slam, and he does. My God, he slams him as Coleman manages to pull half guard upon impact. As Erikson looks to pass half guard and get into side control, he is too good for Coleman, slipping out of half guard straight in the mount. As Erikson pounds away on Coleman, who is getting destroyed. Repeated heavy shots to the head. This is not good for Mark Coleman, as Coleman taking a beating, and fucking the referee has to stop the fight. Your winner by TKO, Tom Erikson. My God. So an upset win. Tom Erikson getting a 8-0-1 victory is Mark Coleman 7-5. He didn't want fucking, Masaki Satake was just like, I don't want that fight against Mark Coleman, so he put him against Tom Erikson. Tom Erikson getting a huge win. A huge win. Sucks, man. Mark Coleman, the actual winner of the fucking Grand Prix, 2000 Grand Prix, ends up not even beating his first round opponent. in this one. It is what it is. That's that's what happens. Tom Erikson. That's a tough fight for anybody. But that's Tom Erikson's gonna be a tough guy in the quarterfinals. That is for sure. As it was decent fight. As we shall see. Thanks to all of the supporters for backing him. Also thanks to family, friends, and supporters. It's Gary Goodridge. Trey Tellingman. We shall see. As Gary Goodridge, Big Daddy. Let's see if he can take on as a minus 620. We shall see. Its fight begins. They exchange strikes, but nothing really gets through. Two fighters engage. As Goodridge slips past a right hook attempt and attacks with a nice right hook. The last punch hurt. Tellingman, he grins in response, but I don't think that's fooling anyone. So, he seems to be trying to fake that he's not hurt. Big reach advantage that Goodridge has is evident there as they engage in the center. Tellingman misses a right cross that leaves him wide open for a counter. Goodridge comes in with a nice right hook. Goodridge throws a quick punch but doesn't land. Tellingman moves in fast and clinches with Gary Goodridge. Tellingman trying to push Goodridge so that his back is up against the ropes. He doesn't. Goodridge is stuck with his back to the ropes. As Tellingman trying to do some dirty boxing in the clinch. Goodridge is aware of this, is aware of the danger, and uses the wrestling to prevent any damage from that happening. Great job there. Showing some good control, Tellingman keeps Goodridge stuck against the ropes, though, not keeping him in that position. Next minute comes a bit of a stalemate. Neither fighter is risking to leave a crucial opening. The other's going to exploit it. As Tellingman tries to smother Goodridge against the ropes, but he wrestles free and circles back to the center. As Goodridge comes forward on the attack, as Tellingman tries to hit a jab and misses. The jab is wide for Goodridge, then he scores with a right cross that landed hard. Tellingman uses the left jab while backing away. Goodridge can't connect with his setup strikes, but then hits Tellingman with a beauty of a straight right. As blood is pouring out of the nose of Tellingman after that shot, it looks like it may be broken. So he might have a broken nose here from Trey Tellingman, as it's really going to affect his breathing. As he's got another basically 10 minutes left of the fight. If this goes the distance, Goodridge tries to intimidate his opponent with some quality trash talk. Now he's just talking trash after breaking his nose. As Cooley stalks Tellingman so that he's trapped in the corner. Moves inside in the pocket, looking to pressure Tellingman. Throws two quick punches, but doesn't hit either of them. Is still moving well, though, Gary Goodridge, but he is definitely breathing a little deeper now. And, man, he's got a lot of fight left fight left in this fight. Jesus Christ, a lot of time left in the fight, as he's got to control his breathing and make sure he can finish this fight. And again, he's stalking him and getting him in the corner. Tellingman misses with a left hand in the exchange, as Goodridge can't connect with a jab. It hits a nice straight that lands hard, as Goodridge closing the distance, obviously looking to strike, as Tellingman looked like he was going to shoot, but Goodridge simply took the initiative first. Goodridge can't connect with a jab, but then hits Tellingman with a straight right. A jab is wide for Goodridge, but then hits with a nice straight right that lands hard. So it looks like every fighter in this fight, in Gary Goodridge and Trey Tellingman, is missing with the first shot, but is connecting with the second. So let's see, let's kind of missing on the first attempt, but counteracting with the second one. It's just kind of hitting the combination after the second punch. As again, Goodridge trying to force him in the corner. Bobs out of it as it moves into the pocket. So now he's really right up in there and just trying to set up with a jab and some punches. He can't hit the setup left jab, but then hits the big right hand. Comes forward again, the two fighters exchanging strikes. As Tellingman lands a left. Goodridge can't connect with the setup strike, but then catches Tellingman with a crunching right hook. A few deep breaths portray that Goodridge is starting to get into deeper reaches of his gas tank. Goodridge forces an exchange of strikes. Tellingman throws a counter jab and misses. Goodridge throws a quick 1-2, but doesn't land either blow. Goodridge is blown up at this point. He's looking really tired. Both fighters meet in the center. Goodridge scores with a right jab, but that doesn't land the mark with a right hook. Tellingman lands a 1-2. They exchange in the center. Goodridge dodges a right hand and counterattacks with a wicked right uppercut. And Tellingman collapses. That shot knocked him out. We have a knockout win by Gary Goodridge in good timing, too. Because if that would have went the distance, he could have been in big trouble, him being gassed out. But he gets the win by knockout. Gary Goodridge, Big Daddy. Gary Goodridge 10-9. As Trey Tellingman 6-3-1. Hell yeah, a decent fight, though. We'll take it, though. We'll see what Gary Goodridge says afterwards. gives a name check to everyone in Hammer House, all of his various sponsors, and his family, his friends, and supporters. As he wants Igor. Okay. And speaking of Igor and Alexander Asuka, which this is going to be easy pickings for Igor. I mean, look at that betting line. A 1,150 betting favorite. He's going to destroy Alexander here. This is not going to be good. Big John McCarthy again, and he's always with these fucking easy fights. As although they weighed the same, it's noticeable that Igor looks to have gotten a lot heavier now than Alexander is. As Alexander always fighting in front of his own crowd. We are underway. He can't connect with his setup strikes, but he lands a right hand, hits a left jab, and scores with a right roundhouse kick to the ribs. That is not good. A jab is wide from Igor, but then hits Alexander with a straight right. He fails to find a home for his jab, but then hits a nice straight right hand. A jab is wide from Igor, but then he scores with a fantastic right cross, and he wobbles and he knocks him down with the right cross. As Igor moves in and quickly try to finish the fight with stomps and kicks. But Alexander, he's back up. He's back up too fast. Fails to find a home to his jab, but it lands a big right hand. He can't find the setup on the left jab, but he hits a nice straight right hand that lands hard. He uses the left jab and then finds nothing but big air with a big right. As he can't hit a setup from the left jab, it catches Alexander with a crunching right hook. Alexander appears to be going to try to get a close, which is not going to be good, because Igor's already taken the initiative first, and a jab hits home from Igor, then he hits a nice straight right hand that lands hard, fails to find home on the jab, hits Alexander with a beauty of a straight right, moves in, preparing to throw him, fails to find home on the jab, and then hits Alexander with a leg kick. Is still moving well as Igor, definitely breathing a little deeper now, though he's a little blown up, 4 minutes in, he's just been on the offensive. Alexander just trying to just stay alive at this point, as he can't connect with the jab, but he then hits Alexander with a beauty of a straight right, lands the jab, then it's a nice straight right, a jab hits home from Igor, then he scores a leg kick, a punch from Igor fails to land, Igor can't hit a setup left jab, and then he hits Alexander with a straight right, throws a quick punch, but it doesn't hit. Halfway into this fight, I don't think Alexander has done anything to do anything on the offensive end. He's just been getting his ass kicked for 5 minutes now. There we go, he lands a left hand. So then he can't hit a setup left jab, but he then scores with a cross that lands hard. Jab is wide, then he hits the right hand. A few deep breaths from Igor, he's starting to get into the deeper reaches of his gas tank. As Alexander backing off, hits a weak left hand. Just again trying to survive. Can't hit the setup on the left jab, but then catches Alexander with a crunching right hook. He's looking confident, shortening the range. He looks to strike. As he appears to going into both Alexander and Igor are trying to try to get in close, but Igor took the initiative first. As Igor can't connect with the jab, but hits him with a right hand. A jab is wide from Igor, but then he hits a nice straight right hand that lands hard. As Igor throws a punch, but Alexander was equal to it, so I guess it just means they both landed at the same time. Igor doesn't look like he has much left in the tank. He's looking confident, though, shortening the range of a tentative jab from Alexander lands, as Igor can't hit a setup left jab, but then hits Asuka with a beautiful right uppercut, and is knocked down by that shot, the second knockdown of the round. As he senses victory, starts unloading with punches and pounds away as Alexander is struggling to deal with them. Keeping calm under pressure, Alexander spots that Igor is overcommitted to the strikes and sweeps him off the bounce. They scramble for position. This scramble somehow results in Alexander underneath Igor in the north-south position, as Alexander takes a short knee strike to the side of the head. Igor blocks the escaped attempt, keeping him in the north-south position, hits a short knee again to the side of the head, as Alexander tries to move from under, but he can't. He's just stuck now, and he's taking another knee to the side of the head. As he tries to move from under him, and he can't get free, throws some elbows to the body, and it's not much behind the power, but just trying to land him just to keep him in the position. As he, again, trying to get under the north-south, but he can't. throw some elbows, again, just to connect, just to get some on the score sheet, and he blocks the scramble attempt. Igor throws some elbows to the body, again, just landing them, and that's the end of the first round. So we have 3 jabs and a ground sweep after he got knocked out. This has all been Igor. This is just fair fucks to Alexander Atsuka to survive this long. As they, again, trying to work on the cuts from Alexander. Here's the start of the second round. Looking to do a shoot takedown, but I don't think it's going to work. This just Igor can't set up the left jab, but he lands with a nice straight right that lands hard. Alexander may have a broken nose. There's blood pouring down out of his face. Yeah, that's going to be bad news there from the look of things. I don't think Igor has much energy left, so I think at this point, I don't think Igor's going to knock him out, just he doesn't have the energy. I think it's just going to go the distance. There's a takedown attempt, though, from Alexander with a broken nose. He partially defends it, ends up hopping on one foot, as Alexander has a hold on the other one. As he can't get Igor down, so they just settle for pushing it against the ropes. Again, looking for a takedown, and manages to secure the leg, leaving Igor hopping on one foot again. As pulls his leg free, does Igor, able to circle out of it. Again, looking for a takedown is Alexander, but he just can't do it. He's not getting any takedown. He's like 0 for 3 on takedowns just in this round alone. Igor's just not going down, so they settle to get up against the ropes. Again, drops down, wraps his arm around his opponent's legs. Looking to try to take him down, and it does not get the takedown, as Igor just instead wrestles his way into controlling the grapple, as again is controlled up against the ropes and eats a sharp right to the ear. That is not good. He could have, equilibrium's probably all fucked up now, as Igor smothers Atsuka against the ropes, then uses his dirty boxing skills to his advantage. This is going to be bad news if he gets in the clinch. As Atsuka is trapped up against the ropes, Igor just punishes him with some dirty boxing punches. Atsuka is controlled up against the ropes and eats a sharp right to the ear again, is trapped up against the ropes, punishes them with some dirty boxing. The lack of progress forces the referee to separate the two fighters. Another shoot as shoots in for the takedown as Alexander, which that's not going to happen, as Igor just going to stay on the feet. Unable to complete the takedown, Alexander instead pushes Igor up against the ropes as another takedown attempt, and another one where it just does not happen. And he's looking exhausted at this point. I mean, fair fucks Alexander, just trying to outwork the man. As we're in the final minute of the round, Igor pins Alexander Atsuka up against the ropes and uses dirty boxing to inflict some damage, smothers Atsuka against the ropes and scores with the left to the side of the stomach. Using his dirty boxing skills again, press up against the rope, as that's the time limit. There we go, Alexander Atsuka. So he took 23 jabs, one big-ass punch, was 0 for 6 on takedowns. Obviously, Igor is going to win the fight by unanimous decision. But, fair fucks to fucking Alexander Atsuka for being that big of a fucking underdog to survive to the decision. Yeah, obviously it was going to be a decent fight. Surprised it wasn't even below decent, so we'll take that. See if Igor... Yeah, you gotta, you gotta show respect. I mean, he got his fucking ass kicked that whole fight, and he just went, hey, he's probably got a broken nose, kept fighting. That's a big-time fight for Alexander there, as, we have the Smashing Machine, Mark Kerr, versus the world's most dangerous man, rather, Ken Shamrock, as we'll see if Mark Kerr just makes light work of Ken Shamrock. We shall see, as, both Lions Den members. Yeah, I mean, that's a 35 fight, 35 pounds on him. That's gonna be tough. As the opening bell, they touch gloves up close, they start wrestling. Kerr works his way to the dominant position. Using his wrestling skills, Kerr is trying to push Shamrock up against the ropes. He manages it and controls Shamrock up against the ropes, pins Shamrock up against the ropes, and does some dirty boxing to inflict some damage. Unable to get free, just Shamrock is smothered up against the ropes using, Occasional short punches are all that happen from the next 30 seconds as the two fighters continue to be pressed up, tight up against the ropes. As Kerr again dirty boxing against Shamrock, but his opponent's wrestling skills prevent any damage from happening. Kerr tries to keep up against the ropes with his wrestling, but Shamrock reverses so that he's the one now in control. Shamrock looking to maintain his control with his wrestling skills, but Kerr proves to be too good and manages to turn them around so that he's now in the dominant position. So just both guys just trading dominant positions now. Referee decides to stop the grappling fest up against the ropes. Put them back in the center. They come together in a clinch. Kerr aggressively gets to the dominant position. Shamrock gets caught in a couple of nice short punches as Kerr uses his dirty boxing to inflict some punishment. As now Kerr is looking to put Shamrock in the Muay Thai clinch, which that's not going to be good. As he manages it now, controls Shamrock by the back of the head. Finds the attempted knee strike caught, and the leverage allows Shamrock to wrestle free out of the Muay Thai. So that's a great counter from Ken Shamrock to catch the knee and to get out of that Muay Thai before something bad happens. Let's get back to that. As Kerr is slowing down just a little bit, a little gas, left in the tank. Starting to see that the fatigue is setting in. They clinch up to stop jockeying for position. As Kerr works his way to the dominant position, Kerr is trying to muscle Shamrock up against the ropes. Kerr manages it and controls Shamrock up against the ropes. Unable to get free, Shamrock's just smothered. Kerr and Shamrock remain up against the ropes for the next minute, doing a little other than throwing occasional punches. As Kerr hits Shamrock, who's pressed up against the ropes, a nice little short uppercut. Kerr tries to keep up against the ropes, but Shamrock reverses it, so now he's the one in the control. An ugly but efficient tactic. Shamrock is pressing Kerr up against the ropes and slowly wearing him down, just slowing down the heavier, bigger man. As the next minute or so, they see them exchanging close quarters dirty boxing. With the fighters having been stuck against the ropes for quite a while, the referee again brings them back to the center of the ring. Breathing very hard as Kerr is looking a little ragged. Both fighters want to get in close. They get into the clinch. Kerr wrestles his way to the dominant position in the clinch. Kerr is trying to muscle Shamrock up against the ropes. As Kerr can't do it, though, as Shamrock gets a more dominant position in the grapple. Kerr is just breathing very, very hard and very heavily at this point. As Shamrock looking for a takedown. An outside leg sweep sweeps Kerr down to the ground, where he's left on his back pulling half guard. So there's a takedown from Ken Shamrock. As Shamrock tries to pass the half guard. He passes the half guard fairly easily, getting the side control. Inside control, Shamrock throws a couple of punches designed to keep Kerr guessing. Kerr tries to transition to a guard, but can't manage it. He's got an arm triangle on Mark Kerr. So Mark Kerr defends himself well and is in no danger. Kerr tries to pull guard on Shamrock, but doesn't get anywhere with the attempt. Shamrock unloads with some big rights, but Kerr covers up very well. As Shamrock blocks Mark Kerr's as he tries to transition to guard. As time expires and we come to the end of the round 1 there. Looking at the fight metrics, you have Mark Kerr landing more jabs as far as punches go. But actually, it's pretty close though. It's 32-33 as far as punches thrown. Shamrock does have the takedown. He has the ground pass. He didn't get the submission attempt. I would give it to Ken Shamrock. I think Shamrock really had the dominant kind of end of the round, being on top, being in control. Had the ground went to side control after the takedown. He seemed like he was in dominant position. But either way, it's a very close fight, though. Very close fight. It all comes down in the second round, though. If Mark Kerr can somehow get that second round, or if people thought that the judges thought Mark Kerr had the first round, then it looks like it's going to have to be a close second round. Nonetheless, both the fighters get up close and start in the wrestling position. Shamrock's the aggressor, clinch with Kerr. Shamrock looks to try to take him down. Doesn't work though, as Kerr stops the takedown. Shamrock is trying to muscle Kerr up against the ropes. Kerr out-wrestles him though. Shamrock tries to wiggle free, but Kerr controls him well and gets a few close-range punches too. Shamrock out-wrestles Kerr and takes control of the grapple. Shamrock is trying to push Kerr so that his back is up against the ropes. Shamrock can't do it though, and Kerr gets a more dominant position in the grapple instead. Kerr tries to wrestle Shamrock backwards and up against the ropes. As Kerr doesn't manage it though, as Shamrock defends it well. So Shamrock's trying to muscle through Kerr up against the ropes. Manages it and controls Kerr up against the ropes. Shamrock shows great control, keeping Kerr pressed up against the ropes. The grueling grappling contest continues for the next 60 seconds, with both fighters looking to avoid leaving any openings. Shamrock doesn't look like he has much left in the tank, so now Shamrock is getting gassed. Shamrock tries to smother Kerr against the ropes with wrestling, but he reverses it and pushes Shamrock up against the ropes. Kerr pins up against the ropes and uses dirty boxing to inflict some damage. We're into the final minute of the round as Kerr hits Shamrock, who is pressed up against the ropes with a nice short uppercut. Kerr using some dirty boxing, but Shamrock is aware of the dangers and uses his wrestling to prevent any damage from happening. Kerr presses Shamrock up against the ropes. He's clearly running on fumes now, as what's left of the round sees them doing very little other than throwing occasional short punches of the body. Both fighters are gassed. As time expires, and that's the end of the round. Actually, I think Mark Kerr won that round. He did the most damage, I think, and it seemed like he was in control for the most of that round. We'll see how the judges score it. Oh, they gave it all to Shamrock. Alright, so Ken Shamrock, my Ohio boys, 0-2 on this opening round. That's not good, but the world's most dangerous man. Ken Shamrock gets the unanimous decision win. 24-5-2. That's Ken, and that's Mark Kerr's first loss, too, as they had the 11-1 and the no contest one. My God. So, wow, Ken Shamrock as advances. So both replacement fighters get the win. That's, Mark Kerr, you wanted better competition, and that's what happens. You get you lose. You get upset. Ken Shamrock, yeah, poor fight. A poor fight. Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot of action that second round, so that makes sense. Co-main event, though. As always, Ken Shamrock, though, thanks everyone connected to the Lions Den, helping prepare for the fight, celebrating his debut fight in Pride. As the lively, charismatic speaker, Ken Shamrock is great at using these interviews to sell himself. Hell yeah, so as Sakuraba, Guy Metzger. We shall see how the co-main goes. As obviously Guy Metzger, he's got a lot of fights under his belt. But obviously Sakuraba, the odds advantage. As see who's going to the quarterfinals. As both fighters came in at the same weight at yesterday's weigh-ins. So Metzger clearly has the significant weight advantage now, though. But here we go. Metzger uses the left jab, but uses his big right hand, which follows up, misses. As Sakuraba looked like he was going to shoot, but Metzger simply took the initiative first. Metzger uses the left jab, but Sakuraba evades the big right punch. Metzger looking confident, shortening the range as he looks to strike, looking to stand up with him. Obviously, Sakuraba, more of a groundsman. Catch wrestling style, not looking to stand up with anybody. Metzger lands 2 jabs and hits Sakuraba with a straight right, so that's a 3-punch combo. For him, appeared to be going for a takedown, but Metzger took the initiative first. Metzger can't connect with the jab, but then scores with the right cross. It looked like they were going to be able to shoot for Sakuraba, but again, Metzger was more aggressive and took the initiative. So it looks like Sakuraba's trying to be the aggressor, but Metzger is being the more aggressor. If that makes any sense. He's just keeping the pace to him. As Metzger lands a left jab, but misses with a vicious right hand. Looks, again, looking confident, shortening the range, looking to strike. A tentative jab from Sakuraba lands. Metzger lands a left hand and scores with a right to the body. Sakuraba shoots in, looking for a takedown, and he gets it. Gets the takedown. It's a single leg takedown. Metzger has to pull guard. Sakuraba pounds away, but Metzger calmly just eats it, trying to pass the guard, passes to half guard. Metzger really working hard on the ground to slow down Sakuraba to make him work for everything. As now Sakuraba's attempting to pass half guard. As he's too skilled, he does it. He's got side control now. Throws a few left hands, but is mainly just trying to catch his breath now after doing all that work. As we've passed the halfway mark in the first round. Sakuraba begins to trying to get himself in the mount. As Sakuraba takes the back instead. Metzger now rolled over rather than get mounted. As Metzger's, he's in trouble. He's got the back. Sakuraba gets both hooks in. As here comes the rear naked choke. It's applied. It looks like it's over. Oh, but Metzger stops it from getting his arm wrapped around under the chin and completing the choke. As Sakuraba maintains his hook, though, despite Metzger trying to break them. Again, he's got both hooks fully in. He tries that rear naked choke. But Metzger stopping the rear naked chokes. Sakuraba pounds away on Metzger, landing several good shots in the process. He pounds away with the left hands, and Metzger is in big trouble. He is stunned, unloads with big left hands, but Metzger is, again, he's able to deal with most of them, just eating these big left hands. fires away some punches that do little of the way of damage. Metzger tries to improve its chances of survival by breaking free of the hooks, but they're too tight. Sakuraba tries to pound on Metzger, but all the blows are comfortable to deal with. Metzger struggles against Sakuraba, but cannot get himself free from the hooks. Sakuraba fires away with punches, but Metzger deals with them fairly well. Sakuraba pounds away with his lefts, but fails to land any significant blows. Metzger struggles against Sakuraba, but cannot get himself free from the hook. So this whole time, he's had his back. So, it's like 2 or 3 minutes of him having his back control, hooked in with the leg hooks and his arms hooked. Sakuraba tries to pound on Metzger, but none of the blows land with any degree of power. Metzger tries to improve his chance of survival by breaking free of the hooks, but they're too tight. As Sakuraba pounds away, but, Metzger isn't troubled by the strikes. He's just eating them as the time runs out in the round 1. So really here, this was all, Sakuraba. At first, it was looking like Guy Metzger was having a great game plan, as if when they were standing, was doing a lot of damage. He was setting up with a lot of jabs. But man, once it got the takedown, Sakuraba just was in complete control the whole time. Luckily, Metzger stopped the rear naked chokes. If it wasn't for that, this fight obviously be over with. We shall see if he survives another round. Obviously, Sakuraba's won the round, so we shall see how the fight ends here as Metzger hits a left jab and lands a right hand. As Sakuraba shoots for the takedown, he's going to get it. Yep, that's successful. It's a single leg that Guy Metzger pulling guard. Obviously, that's Sakuraba's second takedown of the fight and guard. Sakuraba begins to working to pass that side control. He manages to pass, but only the half guard though. Looking to pass the half guard and get side control. He does get side control. That's no surprise there. As Sakuraba throws a few strikes, but again, he's just throwing them to throw them, just to land them. And we're now at the halfway point. Sakuraba begins to try to get himself in the mount. Tries to sweep from mount, but gets rolled and gives up his back, does Guy Metzger, who is in just again in trouble. He's got the back. Kitty make him tap with this rear naked choke. As, again, here's that rear naked choke. Metzger, again, he defends it. He's defending well against the choke. Hopefully Sakuraba's got something other than a rear naked choke in his arsenal on the back. As Sakuraba keeps both hooked, and despite Metzger trying to pull them apart. And this is probably just going to end the round. He's just going to pound away, just several good shots. Oh no, he's going for the rear naked choke again for the 4th time, and it doesn't happen. Has 30 seconds left in the fight. Time expires. Obviously, Sakuraba's going to win by unanimous decision. Obviously, that makes sense. As Sakuraba advances to the quarterfinals, let's see if we get Royce Gracie. As that was a good fight. Good fight from Sakuraba. Let's see. Thank everyone connected to the Takada. Oh my god. Takada Dojo. My god, that fucked me up. I could not pronounce that at all. Sakuraba says he's having an after-show winners party at a local club and invites everyone to drop in. Holy shit, Sakuraba. What a base man. Telling all the fucking Yakuza to come party with him. As Royce Gracie, Nobuyuka Takada. We shall see, obviously, Royce Gracie, the favorite. As we shall see if the 37-year-old Nobuyuka Takada can defeat Royce Gracie. There's a big difference in weight. Takada is 25 pounds heavier, which that could be a major disadvantage for Gracie. As we'll see to try to overcome that. As there's a roar from the crowd from Takada enters. He is from around here. From around her. As Gracie shoots in for the takedown 3 seconds in. As Gracie couldn't complete the single leg, but does end up standing, holding a leg while Takada just kind of hops around. As they can't get Takada down, so he just sells it, pushing him up against the rope. Gracie looks to sweep a leg out from under Takada, looks to take him down with a trip. He does sweep the leg, sending Takada to the mat with a beautiful move. He gets side control. Gracie attempts an armbar. As, oh my god, the armbar and Takada tapped out. Oh my god. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, but Gracie loses the hold. Somehow Takada got his arm free. That was incredibly close to a finish, though. My god. I thought that was it. Gracie doesn't panic, though. Secures side control before Takada can get away. As Gracie tries to ensure Takada... oh my, I can't even pronounce that. He's gonna get Takada in the Kimura. But Takada defends himself well and is in no danger. So, my god, what a fucking fight this is. Gracie does a few strikes, was clearly slowing things down so he can catch his breath after trying to just gets a fight going. Goes, oh no! As showing some great skill, Gracie tries to set him up for a Von Flue choke from the side control as Takada fights out the Von Flue attempt. As my God, Gracie trying to do a Darth as the Darth choke. As again, Takada fighting off the submission, fighting off the Darth choke. Another Darth choke attempt. He's got it. He got it. And Takada taps out Hoist Gracie, pulling out all the fucking stops. Gets the submission victory. My God. So now we have Hoist Gracie and fucking Sakuraba set. Great fight. That was very exciting. That was a lot of just Hoist Gracie trying to tap him out with a whole bunch of shit. That was awesome. What a fight. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. So, Hoist Gracie praised the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu Academy, of course, and was very responsive to the fans who came to the sport. And he was asked who he'd like to face in his next fight, and he replies that he has a lot of respect for the skills of Alexander Otsuka. I think that'd be a good fight. Wow. He earned a lot of respect there for Alexander Otsuka for getting his fucking ass kicked for 15 minutes. What a great fight. Obviously, the critical rating is going to be at least above 60 to be a high critical rating, so we got that. We got a 78. Commercial rating, basically everything was on TV for this opening round, just to kind of see where we're at as far as getting some, just to kind of see where we're at. But we had some great fights, though. This was excellent. The main event was great. This was good. This was the only shit fight, Ken Shamrock and Mark Kerr. It was decent and good, and then obviously the great fight between Wanderlei Silva and Ensign and No Way, and the 55-second knockout from Ebenezer. What a great show, yeah. Increased pop in Japan, Russia, America, the UK, Canada, and South America. That's huge. Hell yeah. So, sub of the night, Hoist Gracie. KO of the night, Akira Goodridge, because that was probably the only KO. The rest were TKOs, and then the fight of the night, Fujita and Hans. Hell yeah. Awesome. Alright, so we have the tournament now set up. Hopefully nobody bitches about who they gotta fight. Hopefully everybody's pretty cool with who they gotta fight and whatnot. As we got some mail. Hans contract. It got renewed. Because I don't think we're gonna renew it, to be honest. It was a great fight. It was a great fight. It was the fight of the night. I think he deserves another fight. I think he does. I think that's fair. Give him another one fight deal with the one fight's guaranteed. Alright, bud. 2 fights. 2 fight guaranteed contract. Alright. You get 2 fights. Alright. So yeah, it's gonna be a long episode, but we got through it all. As I hope you all enjoyed the opening round of the 2000 Grand Prix, as we'll catch you guys for the next round of the Grand Prix. Take care, everyone.